Okay, so you watched the first live stream.
I did. I watched it on YouTube. It's wonderful. I had a good time just watching what we were doing. It was hilarious. Um, and I've managed to link our conversation from about a year ago onto my website. And once part two of this effort is, finished, I'll link both up on my website as well. So you can find them on finitearts.com.
No,
By the
I
way,
watched. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wondered if have you looked at the Sinjin's online walkthrough? It's still available, 25 years after the event. And I've got a a good link if you don't have it already.
Yeah, you
But
sent me the link. It's the online adventurer's guide.
yeah, it's Sinjin's Adventure Guide. It's wonderful. He just really went crazy to do a good one. And, nowadays they're all done in text. It's funny.
No, nowadays you have walkthroughs in video, so you have to watch the entire thing.
Well, yeah, you have those too. Yep, YouTube has certainly matured.
Now, the thing is that I prefer the written guides, especially if I'm playing a game, because, you're not going to watch a video while you're playing a game.
No, and not only that, but for me, a lot of times, if this is an old game and some of the details are lost, I'm an old guy now and I don't remember everything, and so I have to every now and then kind of read the paragraph like 3 times in order to figure out what the heck I'm going to do next.
And, people tend to artificially lengthen their videos, and instead of having it right to the point, like you have the walkthrough, just give me the walkthrough, there's an entire thing around it. Just like, various tutorials. You want to know how to do something in, I don't know, Adobe Premiere. So you're looking for something on YouTube, and then you have the intro, and then you have whatever background about that particular action or object, and then you get the actual thing you are looking for, like 90% in the video.
And of course, ads as well.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, that's okay. It's a good system. There has to be a transaction, and viewing an ad is how you're paying. It's wonderful.
Let's start. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of TextPlay. My name is Daniel Albu, and welcome to the show where I get to play classic games with the people who made them. And today we're going to continue playing the amazing game Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine with none other than Hal Barwood. And I'll bring him up in a moment. And I also have a surprise for him, because I found a video from 1998 on YouTube in which there's a sneak preview of the game, and they even interviewed Hal. So I'm going to show this video in a moment, and I'll bring Hal in a moment. Let me just thank our Patreon members. Thank you guys for donating. Thank you guys for keeping Conversations with Curtis and TextPlay going. And I'll also thank our coffee members, Top 7 for the last 30 days, Top Fuel, Jwex, That Star Wars Guy, Muffet Reborn, CJ, Big Kahuna, and CompuArt. On Wednesday, I'm gonna live stream the third part of Zach McCracken with Matthew Allen Kane and David Fox. And that's our plan for this week. I'll probably won't live stream on Friday because I'm interviewing Larry the O on Thursday, so it's probably going to be a long conversation, and so I'll take Friday off. That conversation will probably premiere in September, so stay tuned for that. And that's it. Without further ado, let's say hello to Hal Barwood. Hi, Hal.
Hi, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you so soon. You know, the last time was the last time we streamed was a year after the last time we talked. So it's nice to
Right.
see you so close to the other live stream. How are you doing?
Well, at least this way I can still remember what we were doing.
Yeah.
So
Or what we were talking about.
that's true. Yeah.
So first of all, this past week you've been playing Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine, right?
Yes, I decided to go through, starting in Meraway, and go through that sequence of 3 levels where you wind up getting Nub's part of the Infernal Machine. And it was a lot. It was a lot of fun, and so I thought it would be a little preparation for today's session, and
And,
it was
and
enjoyable.
yeah, you enjoyed the gameplay. The story is amazing, but how did you? What was your experience playing the game? You know, have you played this level in the past couple of years?
No, last time I played any of this game before you got interested in doing the live stream was in 2012. And that was the first time that I thought I could dare to look at it again when the primitive graphics of the engine we were using back in the late 90s, had settled down into becoming retro and not just antique. And so I could enjoy the game again. And so I went through the whole game, and I was very impressed by the fact that Paul Lefevre, who adapted the Dark Forces engine and turned it into the Indiana Jones engine, did a fantastic job given the hardware and the software that we had available. And I was very impressed by that. And I was impressed by the tools that he created that allowed us to actually do level design, even though they were pretty primitive. I did some of the geometry myself, and I know how tricky it was. And so hats off to Paul, who did a wonderful job under tough circumstances back then. And I just also want to do a shout out to all the level designers who worked so hard on this game and did such a fantastic job. It's very impressive. I find that once you have played for maybe half an hour or so, you just forget the geometry, you forget the abstraction of the look, and it just becomes rather a beautiful game with fantastic levels. So I just like to mention some of the guys that did this work. And in particular, the level we're going to play today, which I guess is Meraway, it was done by a guy named Reed Knight. And Reed had worked on another level for a while, and he was new at it. And he needed a lot of help on that other level. And eventually he got going on this one. And he kind of went through a university education in level design as he worked on this immense and very complex level. So anyway, that's Reed Knight for the level Meraway. But also, I'd like to mention Steve Chen, who was our lead level designer. He was a trained architect who also understood that when you do levels, it's not really architecture anymore. And then Tim Longo, another guy who just was fantastic. Chris McGee, Tim Miller, who came out of Test. We had no idea what was going on. He just became an incredible ace. He's a terrific designer. Don Silkey, who did several levels for us. Just a wonderful guy, ex-Navy guy. Came to LucasArts because he did modifications. He was down in Tallahassee, Florida, I think, and somewhere down there anyway. And he sent some mods to LucasArts. Hey, this is what I've been doing. And we said, okay, come on up and we'll hire you. And he worked on a couple of my games. And I'd also like to mention Derek Sakai, who is the lead animator on the show. Bill Tiller was my lead artist, and most of the things you can see from Bill are we didn't even really know at LucasArts as a company what concept artists were doing and what concept art was. But Bill was doing a lot of it and helping the level guys get going on their stuff with his concepts in a kind of informal way. And he did all the maps that start each level. And then Mai Nguyen, who was our lead character designer. And these guys were just all great. And I'd just like to also say Dave Levison, who did the effects for the show, it was wonderful. And Clint Bajakian, who composed the, Johnny Williams sounding music that goes in the background. Also, I'd like to just mention Dara O'Farrell, who was the voice director. Although I wanted to do it, they wouldn't let me. I would have taken too long. So Dara buzzed through it all. Anyway, that's it for me on the shout side of things. I really do appreciate the work this team put together to get this game done.
Well, it's a great list. It's a great list of people to interview. I've recently interviewed Dara about various projects, and including this one.
Oh, good.
I plan to interview Stephen Chan in the next couple of months. And
good.
I've been in touch with Julian Egebrecht. I hope I'm pronouncing his family name correctly. He worked at Factor 5. He worked on the Nintendo 64 version of Indiana Jones.
Yes. Yep. Julian. I remember Julian pretty well. Yeah.
So tomorrow we have a short conversation. We're going to discuss what we're going to discuss in our actual 4 or 5 hour conversation. So
say hello from me.
I will say hello from you. And I'm going to ask him about everything Nintendo 64 related and why that version is, well, why it could have been better.
Oh, yes, it could have been a lot better. But it was, there was a design idea, a marketing idea at LucasArts, and they hired Julian and his company to put it together. I think Florian did most of the actual programming on the 64, and also Nick Pavis from our company. And the problem is that, of course, the 64 is a feeble piece of hardware. And to get it to do some stuff was really tough. So a lot of it worked pretty well. But if you're in the mine level, and the King Solomon's Mines level, and the cart gets moving pretty fast, suddenly the geometry around your little cart just disappears for frames at a time, because the 64 just couldn't keep up with a lot of the stuff. And the other problem was that the marketing idea was that they didn't really want to sell it and take a big inventory and sell it so much as was the case you could do back then, which was rent it through a rental cart. And so they felt that the standards of quality could be lower. And I didn't go for that very much. I thought that was a silly idea. And so the level of test wasn't very good. And I remember playing that version, and I would get up where I had to launch the raft in the whitewater level. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't find the tiny little spot where you had to stand exactly there in order to be able to get the raft into the water, which was, a bug. And so it's, for a lot of people, that stalled the game completely, permanently right there, an A bug. So, but anyway,
I'm going to ask him about that as well. That's why we're going to have a 4 hour conversation. I'm going to go over the bug list and things that made it into the final product. And
I'll say one other thing, and that is that I'm a particular guy, and I was known at the company as being a stickler for detail and polish. And they didn't like that very well for a lot of things. And so I was not invited to participate in the 64 thing. But the guys who were doing it need to figure out save games. Now, the save games that are part of the PC version are 50K each, or something like that. And we had to make these drop down to 125 bytes. And so they came back to me, and I showed them how I did it. I did all the code for that. And basically what it meant was, we had certain places where you could save. You would save, and it would put you in a certain spot in the right place. So we could do that. It would be very easily regulated. You could do that in a number of bytes. And then the actual code was mostly in the game code instead of in the save games. So when you came along to that point, there would be code available in the actual engine to manage the save game stuff. And the actual size of the save game was really, really tiny, and it worked out great.
And you could save the game at any location, or were there predetermined locations where you could actually...
No, they had to be predetermined, but there were lots of them. And so you could save in a way that didn't trouble you. If you had made a mistake and you needed to drop back to a save game, it wouldn't be punishing to go through all that stuff again.
Okay. So I'm going to interview, like I said, Stephen and Julian, and I'm going to interview more people. I'll update about the upcoming interviews, because this year we're celebrating the 25th anniversary of the game in November.
Wow.
25 years.
Yeah, people grow up and grow old in that period of time, you know? That's not the millennials anymore.
We're still the same age as we were. That's the beauty of nostalgia. We play these games. We play these games so that we'll feel like we felt back when we played the games when they were originally released. So,
well, I love to do it. So count me as one of them. I've always felt like, all my life, I've just felt like I'm 14. I still feel that way.
Yeah, and you called John Williams Johnny Williams. So everything's, friendly and fun, just like back when we were 14.
I guess that was kind of his nickname. Is still.
Okay, so as I said, I have a surprise for you. This is from a GameSpot TV show that aired in November 1998. So this is a year before Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine was released.
Wow.
So here we have intro of the week.
Attitude of this piece. Check it out.
Welcome to Los Angeles, rookie. The city of angels.
Okay, let's see.
Return of LucasArts has a new game in the works, but it won't be another Star Wars title. This time, it's the return of an old friend, Indiana Jones. Specifically, it's going to be Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. Heading up the project is LucasArts' Hal Barwood.
Look at you.
Wow.
We spoke with Hal about Indy's return to the video game arena in his modest Northern California office.
Now look at this. Look at this early version of the game.
Jonesy story.
Yeah.
He always tackles the big questions, and this time he's out to find out why the Russians are digging up the Tower of Babel in Babylon after the war. The CIA has put him up to this because they're worried about it, and there's hints that there might be some deadly force there beyond.
Now listen to this. You got an email during the interview. If you listen, you hear the Outlook sound effect.
The CIA has put him up to this because they're worried about it, and there's hints that there might be some
Got an email.
deadly force there beyond the
Wow.
atomic bomb. And so Indy's off to find out what that might be. It's
Probably about the Nintendo 64 version.
Mostly, but not exclusively, an action adventure game. There's a huge story element.
Now look at this. In our last live stream, we talked about the fact that Indy's hat disappears whenever he falls in the water. But in this early version,
an action adventure game, there's a huge story element.
he left his head on.
From a Jones game, and
there was a slight refinement that we made.
Interaction with other people. There's a social component that goes along with the shooting.
So it seems like in the year
there's
that passed from this preview video to the release of the game, you guys removed the hat for some reason in the water.
True adventure game.
Well, we removed it for a good reason, because you can't really wear a fedora and get anywhere underwater. It would just be blown off. So
True, so it makes more sense for it to disappear. And then
I'm looking at that still picture of me I still have a little bit of color in my hair. I've got a fedora on. Look at those glass bottle monitors. Oh my God. It's been a while.
You get a fedora on the monitor. Nowadays, you can place a fedora on your monitor. And you have the Rebel Assault poster. I didn't see that before.
Where is that?
Here it is.
I guess that's on the right. Yeah, there it is. Yep.
Because you were the story, you directed all of the FMV scenes.
Really successful way. And yet, at the same time, there's no point in making Indiana Jones simply a shooter.
A tiki statue with stubby little arms.
I mean, it's no fun to be a first-person Indiana Jones game because what are you going to do? Is sitting there at your computer console, are you going to be wearing a hat and have a whip at your side? And that doesn't work. And Indy, part of the whole experience with Indy is to see Indy and see who he is. Indiana Jones is a character, and each story is new and unique. And so although I deal with Indy as a character, I don't have to think of barely at all.
So it's funny, you're explaining the fact that, Indiana Jones can be a shooter and can be a first-person game because you need to see Indy. That's part of the lore and that's part of the experience. Unlike the game that's actually coming soon, in which it's a first-person Indiana Jones game.
Really?
Yeah, the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's a first-person game. First-person
About any other
shooter.
he ever had. It's just a
So
new
maybe they'll
story
see
involving new
hands or something.
characters,
Well,
and
They should have listened to you back then.
It's interesting. It's a matter of taste, among other things, of course. And I basically rebel against first-person
not
games,
interested
although I played a
in
lot of
that
them, and
first-person
I like a
shooter
lot of
games.
them.
I'm
But
interested in the combination of character and story and this new.
But the thing
Wow.
is that especially with Indiana Jones, you need to see him at all times, not just in the cutscenes, at all
Right.
times.
well, I think that's important. I'm also a writer, and basically what I do these days is I write books, and they're always third-person books. I like the characters to present themselves and not be exactly presented by me.
Well played. Well said.
World.
And
It fits.
the level design, we're a year from the release, and people are mentioning in the chat that a lot
So
of
I'm
these
very
things
interested
are
in the
very
kind of game
different
I'm
in the final game.
Thanks, Hal. We'll be interested to see the finished product when Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine hits the shelves.
A lot more of this is working than I thought there would be.
Yeah. Actually, it's pretty surprising that a year before release you have these things, especially since in the last live stream you said that each of these levels took a year to produce. So they were probably all in their final stages, but still needed some refinement. Okay.
Yeah. They certainly needed refinement. Oh my God. We were still refining
Big
it
Kahuna tipped
after.
$5. Just wanted to disrupt your conversation and get my name back up in lights. Oh, and boost my name on the coffee list.
Thank you, Big Kahuna. Every time a Sierra developer is donated to the stream of a LucasArts game, it makes me happy. Thank you, Big Kahuna. Now let's play. Okay, so we already loaded the level of Barwood, and before the live stream, we looked at the difficulty, looked in the settings, and we saw that the difficulty was Dr. Jones. So in the last live stream, we played at the highest difficulty, which was quite an undertaking. So maybe we don't need to use the bazooka at all times in this live stream.
Well, that's one dead hyena.
Yup. Okay, so since you played the game this past week, you have created 20 save games from various locations in the level.
Yeah.
Now, what can you tell us about this level?
Well, it's immense, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's progressive, so the tasks at hand keep changing. The first thing you've got to do is basically get rid of all the hyenas, because you need to persuade a young kid to come out of a hole in the side of one of the pyramids and help you get an item that you're going to need to complete the level later. Some of these things can be done in various orders, and some of them have to be done in order. And gradually you just learn. Oh.
So the bazooka didn't help.
No. I guess as an area weapon, I don't think it targets Maybe it does, but maybe only if you're closer. So it
Maybe
went
it
right
was
over
too
that
far.
hyena.
Yeah. The hyena is bazooka proof.
The other thing that's going on is this is an area, especially outside, where we allowed ourselves.
Wait, let me lower the volume. Yeah.
There we go. We allowed ourselves a lot of open space, which is unusual in level design. We mostly try to keep things a little bit tighter. But in this case, it's because you can roar all over the place in a Jeep, and it's fun to do. So anyway.
So in our last live stream, we talked about cut content. I asked about cut content from the game, but before the conversation, we talked about the fact that not only was there no cut content of sorts, you actually added a level during the production.
Yeah, eventually, I'm guessing you'll run around and you'll find that Jeep and drive it a little bit, and we can talk about the Jeep and what it meant. We wanted to do it, and so in this level, we were busy making the Jeep work. And for example, we had a model, a guy named Mike Dacko did the models, and he did all the little models that had to be added. And we've got these sort of octagonal wheels here. But when we first developed the Jeep, just hit the X key and up you go. Nope, you take your, you just have to, I'm sorry, control. There we go. Sorry about that. And now you can zoom around and drive all over the place. And we couldn't get the wheels to go, but a guy named Steve Scholl sat down one day. He was one of these coder guys who put on a pair of headphones, listened to really loud rock and roll while he was coding, and still could get it done. I don't know how he would do it. And anyway, so we suddenly had a Jeep that worked, and Paul managed to get the physics to work to a degree. If you go fast, if you hit the run key while you're doing this, you can go really fast and you can fly over. Yeah, look at this. It's wonderful.
So what were the technical difficulties exactly? The rotating the wheels on the Jeep?
Oh my God, it's over for you. Well, it was just, it was just more code. It was just, we didn't have the code in, and how could you attach rolling the wheels to the Jeep model and get them to move, and we had to have, points that showed you can run them down. If you're lucky, you can hit them, but it's hard to do. You got one.
Yeah, and he even honked his horn while doing it.
Yeah.
Ah man, this is like GTA, but with Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, you almost got that one, but not quite.
So, you worked on the Jeep level after this one?
Yeah.
When did you find the time? Because
once we knew the Jeep would do this stuff, we got excited. It was fun. It was active. It was it's actually a fun thing where you're slightly out of control. Things aren't but at the same time you've got this wonderful vehicle and you zoom through this rather large, deliberately large venue where you can go a lot of places very fast. And so we decided to add a level. So I did a bunch of bubble diagrams of a level which is all basically a Jeep. You're just driving a Jeep around, and you have to go to the various nodes of my bubble diagrams and find various items that add up to the success of getting out of the whole thing. And Don Silkey, who was just the quickest of our level designers, grabbed some textures from another jungly area and looked at my bubble diagrams and did the whole level in literally a matter of, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks.
But when did you find the time, given the fact that it took you a year to work on each level? When did you find the time to add another level?
We mostly did, but we discovered that Don was just really quick. And so, and we didn't have to worry so much about, all all the textures because we had them already. We could grab a lot of stuff we already had and do this rather small level. And eventually you get rescued from this area by Sophia in a helicopter, the helicopter you saw at the very beginning of the game. So, we were able to reuse a lot of stuff, and it was just fun. It basically took the experience you're having here of just zooming all over the place in a Jeep and turned that into a method of navigating through an entire world. It was a lot of fun, worked out great.
This is doing...
Hey, you got one. Hey. Once they get really close, it's hard to get a shot off.
Yeah. So Chris89 in the chat asks, how did the team do research for these real-life locations?
I'm sorry, how did we do the research?
Yeah, for these real-life locations, like how they look.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it was pretty simple. And the reason is that George, when he built his ranch in Nicasio, the Skywalker Ranch, and had several buildings there, and by then he was, a wealthy man, and so he could afford to do this beautiful craftsman-style library in one of the buildings. And that library was designed for production design of movies. So it was a library filled with coffee table books that are full of illustrations of anything you can think of. And that's basically how we did the research. We would go in there and look at stuff.
So this is the same way you guys did the research for Fate of Atlantis, right?
A little bit, although in the case of Fate of Atlantis, we just picked up, like, the first book we picked up told us what to do, and that was it. We went back and had lunch. But this time we spent more time doing it. And it helped me figure out the locations that I was going to use. And I basically, we have to send Indy on a round the world trip, which is kind of typical of his adventures. It's a lot of world movement and island hopping and so on. And so we did that. And that meant finding appropriate places to go that had a variety of terrain so that the player would not become bored by the sameness of the look. And so we had deserts and we had jungles. We had a lot of we had islands, and we had, a ship and tombs and pyramids and all that sort of stuff to give the game a wide variety of flavors.
Very well. Okay. Want to talk to the kid?
Yep.
We killed all the hyenas, so he should be fine.
The miners were happy to blow a hole in history, but their tunnel collapsed.
You did save?
Don't worry, I won't hurt you.
Well, you don't look so bad. It's the hyenas that bother me.
More hyenas coming. There's another troop of them, and you got to get rid of this whole group.
Oh man.
Do it now before they get you.
Wait, let me get the bazooka.
It's interesting. I noticed that you're mostly killing them with weapons. When I play this level, I just get in the Jeep and run them all down. It's so much fun.
Yeah, but I thought I got all of them.
Now it's interesting. We had voices in the company and on the team that didn't like the idea of harming animals.
Mm-hmm.
And so the only animals we were allowed to harm were the spiders and the scorpions and these hyenas. And you'll notice in other levels that if you play through, Indy will fire his weapon and it scares the animals and they run away. But you can't actually hit them. You can try, but you never do. Oh, I guess you got one more. Boom! Oh, darn, almost. Ah, got him. Excellent work. you might have. I think there's a little note of musical triumph when you've nailed them all. So until you hear that, you've got to keep trying to find the hyenas and kill them. Must be still another. Just don't go down that hole.
It's so rewarding to hear that you still love playing games and you love playing your games, and that you actually play this game this week, because most of the people I interview don't play their games.
Well, you know, I know we were going to get together, and I enjoyed our previous. Oh, you're dead again. Wow, that's spectacular.
Thank you. Spectacular is exactly what I was going for.
If you're gonna die, that's a great way to do it. I think you have to go around and
yeah.
when you get to the mine car, you can get in from either side and get out either side, but I think you have to get in on the driver's side of the Jeep. Oh gosh.
Maybe I should just shoot them.
Whatever. Or get us one of the save games where when it's all done.
I can't even get this. Oh.
You can run down the scorpions too.
Yep.
Now in real life, scorpions basically are nocturnal. They don't like to come out in the daytime. And
they don't make sounds. They have a sound in this game.
Yeah, when you can always tell when you're shooting a spider or a scorpion. There's a tiny little kind of a twitchy noise that tells you that you got them.
It's like a mouse.
And you hear when you get the. Nope. Oh, you got that guy.
I think I'm dragging him along.
Yep. Oh, jeez.
Come on. Oh.
It's basically kind of a roller coaster. And part of the fun of the level, which is actually, you know, makes you smile, is just the insane chaos of it all. You know, you have some control, but it's almost the definition of fun that you don't have, you know, complete control, and that's why it makes you giddy to just try to do it all. Oh, God.
Okay, last try, and then I'm just gonna shoot them. Just like Indiana Jones in the first movie.
All right. Usually they try to reverse direction. They wait until you're there, and then they try to reverse. So if you kind of anticipate where they're going to face, and you go the opposite way, it's always good. Well, not quite. Oh, oh, gosh.
They're AI. They're 1999 AIs, just too good.
Oh, you got one. And the Jeep doesn't even take a dent. It makes noise, but it doesn't actually get dented.
Okay, this is it. That's it. No, we're not done because the musical key hasn't played.
Music, so there's one more, and I could hear the chittering sound, the laughing sound that the hyenas make. That means that another group appeared. So there's one more group. You got probably 3 of them that you got to nail. You got one. Looks like you got 2 more here. You could just shoot them if you want. Almost.
Yeah, okay.
Get your rifle out and hit them while they're falling. Oh, you got that guy. Ooh, okay.
Wow, he ran out of bullets.
Uh-oh. Scared the hell out of that hyena.
Yeah.
Usually they don't run away that much. They did have a little bit of AI going.
Okay.
Hey, you heard okay, dun, 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 dun. That means
Finally.
you're done. So now you can go back and talk to that kid. or whatever. Now, one of the things about...
Anybody home?
Aha, he's not there anymore. Uh-oh.
But there are snakes.
I think there might be a snake in there. You're gonna get hit.
Oh, I need to use my lighter.
Yeah. You can't really go anywhere, though. It's all blocked up. You know, there are game conventions that, you know, violate reality in the same way that there are conventions that you hardly notice in a movie that violate reality and or ignore parts of reality, and that's certainly true here. So, for example, you can run around in that Jeep all day long and smash into everything, and the Jeep never takes any damage. It looks like, you know, it makes noises when it collides and so forth, so it sounds like it's colliding, but nothing really happens. And here we are in a bowl. You know, there's only, you know, you can't, it's not the real world, and we can't model all of Africa in this game. And so basically, you can't get out of this bowl. Eventually, the slopes become too steep to walk up. Careful. Now, if you... Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Yes,
This isn't a natural pit. Horner dug a mighty big hole here.
Well, of course, in a level, unlike the world where you can ignore most things, like I don't need to worry about stuff, but if you see anything in a game like this, you know, it's going to play a role in the game progress, and that hole certainly will be important. And so is that little shack over there.
So the Kovic says in the Nintendo 64 version, they added a little cutscene to show you that the kid is waiting near the hole after he killed the hyenas.
Yeah, he doesn't appear until you need him in this version. Now, if you look to the left, wait, go back a little bit. Go look in that doorway. Take a look in there. Whoa, right there. Okay, so what you see is a doorway that's guarded by 4 hands. And as you solve the level progressively, hands are removed, and eventually this is your way to get inside. So what's interesting is, to me, is that, you know, those hands, here we are at a location theoretically in Africa, and suddenly we have these golden arms that are able to move by some unseen engine that has no actual explanation. It's a game convention. And, you know, after you've been playing the game for a while, you forget the fact that this is all magical. There's a lot of stuff happening, and what appears to be ancient technology, but somehow, without being able to understand it exactly, a lot of these things are still working. You know, elevators still work, and so on.
I always wondered what powers these contraptions.
I'm sorry?
I always wondered what powers these contraptions. What, you know, where do they get the electricity or the mechanical power to actually work after all these years?
Oh yeah, you're going to see a lot of it. Every now and then we make use of stuff, so that, for example, you're not going to need it now, but you're also, the Jeep is also around here, and I'll just tell you that the Jeep has a can of gasoline on its tail end.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, even though the convention is these things always just work, there's a moment when you're going to need to add some gasoline to something, and you have to get it out of that canister that's on the back there, which you can pick up at any time, but usually you don't even notice it. It just looks like part of the model, but actually that's a thing that you need to get into your inventory eventually. And another game convention, when you click the interface, you've got all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, where the hell is Indy actually keeping that stuff? Well, there is no
Yeah.
good explanation for that. It's just
This-
part of the game.
It's the same with Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis and every point-and-click adventure game out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
Yeah,
the
but-
thing is, it's so enjoyable to play that you don't care the fact that you're not exactly being realistic. We're not just doing physics puzzles in this game. And I would never want to just do that.
I think that's where the FMV games fell short, because in graphic point-and-click adventure games, then you have the suspension of disbelief. Like, you can believe that Guybrush is holding this huge banana picker in his pocket, and it's fine. But adventure games that are, FMV adventure games, you cannot look past the fact that that real person on screen is supposed to have this huge object in his pocket.
Well, of course, Guybrush is meant to be funny, and it works great for Guybrush. But here we just have a suspension of disbelief. It's a different kind of suspension than you have if you're watching a movie or reading a book, but it because it involves something like a mechanical interface. But at the same time, it is part of the things you kind of overlook, and you're willing to overlook. Now, I think to make any progress, aside from getting little things like poison kits, you need to go and blow up some stuff in that shack that's around beyond another place. Now, the other thing that's interesting, we have these rocky blocks, and they have to be, they're all the same size. That tells the player that this is something you can manipulate.
Mm-hmm.
But, of course, how can one man pull and push something that appears to be made out of solid rock, which weighs tons? And that's another game convention that we just adopt. And at first you might be disturbed by it, but eventually you just realize, no, that's part of the play. Take a look in that window there.
This window?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And what do you see in there? You see a lot of explosives.
I see something to use my bazooka on. Where's my bazooka?
Yeah, well, get way back then. I'm not sure that the bazooka, well, let's see what happens. I've never tried to bazooka this thing. Yeah, you have to get up close. Try the bazooka, maybe that'll work.
But if I'll get up close, I might get hurt.
Well, if you back up a little more, then you can still use the bazooka, I would think.
Ergen, Elsa. There we go. Quick save.
It worked. Get a little hint of triumph in the music. And now you can go around the other end and you can get in that shack. And there's stuff in there you need. Quite a bit.
Like a bazooka.
There is a bazooka, yep. You've already done it with a cheat, but you can pick him up anyway.
Some more firepower. Some more firepower.
It knew you already had a Zupa. Now okay, grab that. Now go forward to your left. No, you're not done. Oh, you get that thing too.
Drive chain, if I'm not mistaken.
Now go back to your left.
Yeah.
Behind that box over here. To the right. To your right now. Go down to the end, turn left. Go down to the very end, turn left.
Now what?
And it's hard to see it. Pick up, you got a bucket.
This might be important.
You will need that. Okay, you're set. That's it. And now, if you want, the next thing you really have to do is to go down in that hole.
Can I take the jeep?
Sorry?
Can I take the jeep?
Yeah, you can do it very slowly. You can go down a ramp. Yeah. Just be very careful. You can't jump off. You've got to kind of go forward, and there's a place where there's a ramp that will take you down. There you are. Just take it easy. You've already jumped off it twice and killed yourself, so there you go. Now you're doing okay. There you go.
An electric generator. The fuel tank is still half full. If only it had a drive chain, I might be able to crank it up.
That's one of the weird, strange moments when we did pay attention to the reality factor, and Andy actually mentions that it's got some fuel. Now you need to use that drive chain.
There. Now I've got power to spare.
Whoa. Try that lever.
What's this?
Wait, let me take the
Some
gasket.
gasoline.
No, that's okay. It's good to have that, but try the lever. Hit control. Now, of all the jumps that you have to make in this entire game, the one that fools me the most is this damn conveyor belt.
Don't worry, I got this. Famous last words.
Oh. There you go. Going down is pretty easy. Going up is tough. Getting off.
Okay.
And there's at least 2 different items you got to get down here. And I'm not sure that we did a good job of flagging this one for, alerting people that you should do it. But most people who play a game that involves puzzling, as this one does, are aware that you should look and carefully observe everything, and this minecar certainly is part of it. So see if you can pick anything up off that minecar.
This car's glory days are over, but I might be able to salvage something.
Whoops. Yeah, there's something you can grab there.
Okay, this wheel will roll again.
There you go.
Do we know?
No,
go ahead.
This is a weird design choice because you're at the beginning of a level. You really haven't done much to solve anything yet. And yet it's the very end of the level that you need that wheel. So that's kind of tough. And because when you get there, if you don't have the wheel, you have to do a lot of backtracking. I'm not sure I would design it like that if I ever did it again, and I won't. Yeah, I'd get down there. Got to go down.
So the thing is,
down. Oh my God! Okay, there's bad guys on the other side there.
I have exactly the thing. Oh, it killed both of them. Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay, let's see.
What's this?
It's Professor Sternhardt.
Well, what do you know? Something shiny here. A pocket watch. It's
I
inscribed
think it's meant to be.
Heinrich Horner.
I think it's Heinrich Horner, the guy who we decided had done King Solomon's Mines. Nope, you got to go the other way. Yep, jump over. So we put those little vermin there because we knew you had to go over there, and so you got to kill them. Oops.
So when they started making 3D adventure game, that was my biggest problem with the 3D adventure games. The fact that in 2D graphic adventure games, you have pixel hunting. And it's fine because you can distinguish between the objects you need to pick up and the background. But with 3D...
Provided that the designers know about making sure that you can figure it out. Yeah.
But when it comes to 3D adventure games, the fact that each and every object is 3D, then you can barely distinguish between things you can interact with and just things that are, just there.
Yeah, that the wheel that that you picked up is an example of that. Yeah. So I'm not especially proud of that, especially since it's not highlighted, which I wish it were. I mean, how good are you at doing this part?
Wait. Let me think. Let's see.
Yeah, do a quick save. Quick save, quick save. Back up a little bit and pop on. Oh, there you go. Now getting off is the real trick. It's going to dump you. Gotta jump before you dump. Bump! Oh! Hey. You know what? That always happens to me. How are you quick saving, by the way? Are you hitting F8? What are you doing?
I'm doing F5.
F5. I think one of the walkthroughs I've seen thinks you're supposed to use F8, and I wondered about that because it doesn't actually work. You're a little too close. Oh, now you're especially close. Nope, gotta back up a little bit. Yep, something like that. Looks good. Yep. Now you gotta really do a running jump. Oh no.
Don't worry. Run and
You
jump.
gotta kind of do it before it actually comes over the top. You've got to start running just at the last part of the rise. So just start running. Bang. Whoa, no, you're dead again. This happens to me all the time, and I find that this is really annoying. But it does work.
Okay. Let's do
Run
this.
and jump. Bang. Nope, you got to actually hit the X button.
I think I'm... Okay.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who can't really get off that damn thing very easily. Jump. Yeah, there you go.
That's it. Okay.
So now,
Let's take
hike
the
on
car.
over to that track over there.
Should I take the Jeep?
Nope, nope, nope. Just go over there. There you go. We had a lot of very primitive cutscenes, but this little sequence is one of the better designed versions that we've managed to do.
Killing the fierce hyena.
American. I'm an American.
Civilized, like English, yes?
Don't be too sure.
Industrialized too, I bet. Here to reopen mine.
I think there's something over there I need. You want to help me find out?
That chap Horner was very industrialized. He discovered King Solomon's mine right here in Mirroway.
Those mines are a myth. You gonna help me or not?
What if there's something I need? Will you help me?
Maybe. Depending. I don't do miracles or anything fancy, kid.
I have observed that industrialized men wear watches. And I have a watch. Ah.
Hey, not so fast.
Given 1999 stuff and our having to design all these cutscenes with the language C, I'm kind of pleased that they turned out as well as they did.
Now, quick question about the cutscenes, because you know the games that were released around that time had pre-rendered cutscenes. So, for example, Escape from Monkey Island, that was released a year after Indiana Jones, had pre-rendered cutscenes. Why did you decide to create the cutscenes in engine?
It just worked better. And we thought we were aware that, you know, the look we were getting, and we didn't want to have a lot of dissonance between the look that the gameplay gave you and the look that the cutscenes gave you. It would just, you know, if suddenly you go from this primitive look to something that's much smoother and polished and detailed, which you could do in a renderer, it would just disturb the player, and they would feel like they were cheated when they came back to the gameplay. It's a little bit like even earlier games where you would see box art that looked great, and then you'd play something that was, you know, terribly pixelated. So we wanted to avoid that, and that's part of the reason. And it was also just in terms of getting things done on time and on budget and so on, we could do it this way pretty efficiently. and it would have been an immense additional effort for us to be able to do rendered cutscenes. But you're right, a lot of them were rendered, and certainly in later life we would render them.
Yeah, because sometimes the look of the in-game graphics and the pre-rendered cutscenes was just too jarring. The cutscenes would look, beautifully rendered with various camera movements, while the game itself was, with the graphics of the time.
Yeah, we just thought it would be better to, keep it all looking the same, and that, if you've gotten this far in the game, certainly now you're comfortable with the look the game presents. And so I think that, we were smart to do what we did.
Yeah, and nowadays, whenever there's a trailer for a new game, they have to state that it's the in-game graphics and not the cutscene graphics, so that you wouldn't feel cheated, that you were getting, you were being promised beautiful graphics when the game itself has wonky graphics. Okay, now what?
Well, I think that you need to go forward. You can go around the corner here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you stop over here near the pyramid and get out, and then walk along the front of that pyramid, you'll see some damaged bricks.
Ooh, okay.
And you need to get on there. They're ladders, and you need to get on there and climb them. And I've forgotten the pattern, but it's pretty simple. It's a maze, but it's pretty simple. So I would just, fool around. You can't really. Yep, there you go. It's pretty simple. But you're going to climb up there, and I think this is your first way into the pyramids. I'm not sure. I always have to kind of look this up in order to be able to do it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
So in modern games, they usually use the cutscenes, the pre-rendered cutscenes, in order as a loading screen for the following level. So while you're watching the FMV scene, it's loading the next level.
Well, yeah.
Why were the scenes unskippable in this game?
Because they're part of the play. They're part of the gameplay, and we had cutscenes that appeared in various sections of the game. Some of them are at the end. There's certainly one at the end of this level. And that's kind of the usual. But the truth is, we needed to be able to interrupt the play, but we wanted to do it in a kind of organic way. So the cutscenes are always triggered by some advance that you yourself, the player, make. So, for example, the one we just went through with the little kid, you had to go over and stand and get interested in what was across that gap on the damaged rails. And then that would trigger the scene, so that it felt like that's the next step anyway. And often we would have cutscenes triggered by the necessity to open a door or climb something in order to be able to get a cutscene going. So it wouldn't just grab you when it shouldn't. But it's part of the storytelling. And a lot of people in our company, were kind of thinking that in an ideal world there never would be a cutscene. And there's a mantra for movies: show, don't tell. And there's a mantra that a lot of my game designer friends have, which is play, don't show, and don't tell. And that's a good idea, but at the same time, if you want to have a reasonably rich narrative, you're going to wind up having moments when it's just a story unfolding. And that's the case here. And you wasted a lot of very heavy ammo on that little dead spider.
Yeah,
That's great.
But it's dead.
Yeah, it's dead.
So what you're saying is that while modern games use the cutscenes as a way to have a loading screen in the background, you made them unskippable because the story was important.
Yes. Yeah, I make no apologies for cutscenes, and I'll have to tell you
You shouldn't.
that for a long time there was, especially with first-person shooters, which they wanted a very compressed mechanic. Basically, you're just going to go places and shoot things. And that was a sentiment that was, there you go, right there, boom. Now I think you've got a magical part from a previous level, that you can use to blast that wall. Nope, not that one. There's another one.
Wait. This one?
Ergon. No, now you're floating around. This is a levitation part. Isn't Ergon there? You just went by it. Ergon's part. Nope. Oh yeah. No. Yeah, there you go. Boom.
Now what?
Now what?
That little interface thing that's refilling is the power that you have to wait to be able to use that part again. So now you have a way in to the pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure that how far you can get there. Oh, I know what you have to do. See that block you pulled out?
Yep.
Climb on that block.
Wait.
Whoop.
This block?
Yeah. No, the one you pulled out over there. Get on top of that guy that came booming, and then turn
Okay.
left.
Yeah.
And then you're going to
Yeah.
do a running jump and get up there. And I think there's another ladder you got to go up. Take a, yeah.
Hmm.
Andy will talk about that if you want to go look at it, you know.
Wait, but I need to go
No,
down
you're
to
fine.
climb that ladder.
I think isn't there a way up over here? No, maybe
Wait.
not.
Nope.
I guess not. You got to go back down and climb the ladder. Eventually, that kind of beautiful door on the left that looks Egyptian. I think you may have to push the block
Yeah.
out of the way to be able to get to the ladder.
I'm pushing the block so that I'll get to the ladder.
Yeah. So Indy is a pretty tough guy. He can push a block of stone that weighs like 30 tons.
Yeah. Maybe Indy build the pyramids.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, here we go. So that's kind of cool. And you can still use that to make a running jump. And again, you've got to sort of find your way through this very small and fairly simple maze. And eventually you can get up there and get inside. And eventually you'll come down. You know, the idea is you make the progress on the way into something as you're advancing through a level. Make that something that it requires accomplishment. But then once you've accomplished it, make it very simple to do it again. And that's mostly the case in the game. And so eventually, from the inside, you'll push on that beautiful door and it just falls open. And you can then run in and out of the pyramids from this location. Not sure you went the right. Yeah, I guess you maybe did the right thing.
I need to go
let's see.
down, then go left.
Yeah. Whoa, I think you could have gone left up above.
No, I think I need to go left over here.
Okay. Shows you what I know. I have to study the diagrams again to be able to do this. Oh, here you go. Up to the, I think to the left and then up. I think.
You know, I had to suffer through the mazes of the 80s that were in each and every game because back at Lucasfilm Games, they promised 40 hours of gameplay. And how do you get 40 hours of gameplay? By adding a maze to each and every game.
Well, no, this isn't the door you push over. This one opens. Okay, now you're set. Now you just got to get back down there.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you have to take the ladder or whether you can just skid down and live through it.
You know, I can do a backflip because for some reason it seems like whenever I do a backflip in the...
I think that's an illusion though, because I've seen you kill yourself doing those flips.
It's better, but it's better than just falling down the pit. Get less damage that way. I mean, if you're supposed to get killed in that particular location, you will get killed. But
yeah, but now you know you're on a slope, and usually Indy can go down slopes without getting hurt. I'm not sure, but so I think that when you get down here, you could just drop. You know, just jump off, and you'll be down. Yeah. Now we're inside, and now you can go back in and out. There are various ways to do it.
Crap! Wait. I've been poisoned.
Yeah. By the way, those little the poison kits work for poisoning, and so do the medicinal sprigs. The little leafy things also will knock off the poison. This is really complicated now. I'm not sure we want to, but you'll notice there are 4 pyramids, and they each have emblems that are different, so you can tell which one you're in, even though you're just going through this dungeon crawl.
Mm-hmm.
Something we learned that when we play tested, that people just were hopelessly confused, so we put the emblems in later. That was a response to some play testing.
So what's the biggest change you had to make after you guys got the feedback from the playtesters? Did you make any major changes, or just things like, add various signs that you're in particular locations, or?
No, we simplified some stuff. In this case, we did do quite a bit of level redesign. Reed was very new. This is only the 2nd level he was working on, and it's a masterpiece, really. But there were places where, even given familiarity with the way a game like this works, you still got hopelessly confused. So we did a lot of simplification of the interior of the temples from the original design. And yeah, this is Snake Land. So when you push that button, the snakes are going to come out. You got to get out of here, and then get ready to shoot them. Okay, but you have to crawl through that hole.
I'm not crawling through that hole. Okay, now I am.
You got to.
No.
Oh my God.
Oh. You fooled me, Hal. I thought that was good to go. Okay, got the medicinal herbs.
You've got a lot of medicinal herbs. You're going to be fine even if you get hit.
No, wait, I hear another snake.
Oh my God, you've managed to get them to come out. Usually when I play, they won't come out. You're doing great. You've lured them. There's another. Boy, a lot of
There's
dead
another
snake.
one. Wow.
Yeah, there's 5 or 6 of them, I think. There's quite a few. Now, the other thing is that you'd be much more worried about your health if you were playing the game without that cheat, because acquiring health kits and medicinal herbs and stuff, we were pretty good with our economic design. What now is, there's a whole bunch of designers now just called system designers who are busy working on the economy of a game, and we didn't have that.
We're
I
done.
think there's something right over here, just above that skeleton. Try shooting over there.
So as a LucasArts fan, I wasn't accustomed to the mantra of saving early and saving often. But I had to learn to do that with this game, because I didn't play it with the cheats on. So
this wow. Okay. Now this is really complicated. You can go over here, and you can do. Oh my God, there are spiders. Yeah, because you saw the. Now there is a pretty good clue about spiders, which is all the webbing and that you can walk right through. I think there were just 2 here, so you've got them, and you didn't get hit. There's a place on the left you can blow up, and I think there's a treasure, and there's more treasures off to the right. There you go. There's a door there. So you need Ergon's part, and turn it on. And this is, when a Jones story begins, it seems like you're in the real world. And gradually the fantasy elements come into play. And this is, once you start going through the game and you acquire these magical parts. Oh, there's more to do in there. Go back in there, turn your lighter on. Now look to the right. Woohoo.
okay.
There you go. Now the thing is, you can actually explore all this and do stuff that you aren't going to need later. But the truth is, I don't recommend going down there now because you eventually will do it, but I don't think you need to.
Okay. So I shot the
Instead,
spider, and that's it.
yep. Yeah, he'll be dead all the time. But now you need to go, and this is sort of complicated. Stop there. Well, you can jump down there. Okay, now walk off toward the edge, and then now take a look to your left, kind of and ahead. And you'll notice that if you look up a little bit here, you can see that this is a ledge, and you can shimmy along that ledge, but there's a gap. And there's a block there. So what you have to do, and this is just purely magical, is you've got to somehow jump across this huge gap. And when you get down to the end, you press a button and this thing will elevate temporarily. And you've got to quickly shimmy back and drop down and pull another block underneath that when it's up. And then you can come back over here and shimmy across. It's
okay, so strange. I need to jump across?
Yep. Or maybe you go down one more. I can't remember. Nope. You got to go down one more, I think. I'm sorry.
No worries.
And if you want to avoid this, you can go to the next save game.
Let's see.
I think, take a look down. Yeah, okay, now you got to do the jump. And then that's the button over there. And then you've got to get back here. Whoa, you can do it, but you got to really be running.
Yep.
Well, Indy lives a life of danger, so he's allowed to die.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, there you go. Okay, now think about this. Do a quick save. Okay, now when you push that button, you have a very limited time to turn around and jump back. Do a running jump, or you're going to be... There, you got it. Okay, turn to your right and pull that block outward. Pull it. Control. Yep, pull. All right. And now climb up on the left. Yeah, you got it. This is good. And now you can go up on the wall and shimmy way over. Wow. I guess it's an interesting puzzle. It's definitely this was Reed, not me. He wanted to do it, and I thought, okay, great. We only did one of those, though. I didn't want to do a lot of these complicated things, but we had a list literally of the things that Indy can do. You know, the physical things he can do. He can swim, he can jump, you know, he can shimmy. And so we needed to exploit those possibilities. So that's why that puzzle is there. Notice we're actually in a different, go back just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And take a look at that thing on the wall to the right.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually managed to get ourselves into a different pyramid. Now walk forward. Walk forward a little bit. Uh-oh. Again, how is this working? This has been here for centuries, and yet
I know.
Yet it's magically it's working.
They don't make them like they used to. I mean, your phone works for 2 years and then drops dead after the warranty expires. And these things have been working for centuries with no electricity.
So here's what you have to do, all right? Nope. Okay, back up. You want me to tell you what to do? One of the magical parts of the Infernal machine is an invisibility cloak. Nope, that's not it. That's going to levitate you given the right circumstances. So get rid of that. Try that one. There you go. Ooh, pretty cool. Look at the particles. We could do particles back then.
Yeah.
Now you can put it away and be back to normal. There you go. Okay, this is another strange place. There's another one of these walls you can smash. Right,
let's see.
It's in the center. It's one of the walls on the central
it is.
pillar.
Yeah.
There you go. So now you need Ergun's part again and blast a hole there. And it turns out that's a ladder and also a treasure.
What's this?
And you can climb.
Nope.
Nope. Nope. Nope. There you go.
These are the shortcomings of the Sith engine.
Yeah. Well, turn around and go the other one. There's another ladder right over here.
So how did you handle things that required, a proximity of sorts to that particular object, whether it was a ladder or things that you don't usually have in a shooter?
Well, this is what Paul Lefevre accomplished. He was able to take the basics and this is a complicated puzzle. So what you need to do, shoot everything, and then go over. Not there. Don't go there though. Go around the corner. Woo 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 woo. Yeah, you can go up there, I think. But what you really need to do is go around where that spider that guy was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Whoops. Let me think for a second. Yeah, try up there. I don't know.
Here's a map.
Yeah. Maybe I can't remember if it's down or whether you go up here at the moment. Eventually, you're going to levitate starting from this angel emblem. But in order to do that, you have to set things up.
Okay, so should I go down?
You can try it. I just don't remember at the moment.
I've been poisoned. I've been bitten.
Oh. There you go. Now you're well.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what
I need to find a better spot.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
there's
sure.
nothing here.
Well, there is something, but I'm not sure how it works. Oh, God. I think you could climb up in that left alcove, but I'm not sure. So you got to get back out of here. Okay, now instead of going down there, try going down. Okay, try going up here. More.
Oh, come on.
Yep, poisoned again.
I'm all out of medicinal herbs. I'm gonna use the poison kit instead.
Yep. Now there's a button to push. What does it do? Okay, now here's the thing. In a little bit, that's going to fall away and you'll get killed. So I would certainly do a quick save.
Okay, so now that we know.
Okay, now run over there and pull that block. Pull it, pull it, pull it. Pull the block.
Wait. I'll try it again.
Yeah. Okay. And somehow inside that engine it still works. After all these centuries.
But I can't pull that block.
Pull. Get out of there. Oh my gosh.
But I can't.
As soon as you get over to that block, you've got to pull it toward you. Or maybe just jump up. I can't remember which. Try pulling.
No, I can't pull it.
Then go back. All right. This next time when you get over there, look around up because you can use the platform to jump up, to climb up. Okay, now quickly go over and take a look around, and I think it's to your left. To your left.
Maybe
to your
it's
left.
this one?
Yep, there you go. Okay, now here's got another button. Right here. The button right here to your.
Let me shoot it. Let me shoot it real quick.
Okay, so what's going on okay, now it's a timing puzzle, unfortunately. What you have to do, hang on a sec.
Mhm.
You've got a certain amount of time, and you can actually figure it out here because it's going to that door is going to close again. And one of the things you learned when you first got the part that levitates you is you can only levitate when you're under a certain magical jewel. So that we couldn't have people just using levitation whenever the hell they wanted to. It has to be something in the level which allows you. And with the cutscene that showed you the door opening, showed you that jewel, but you have to be right underneath it. So okay, here, no, so just think for a sec. You're going to press that button and you're going to run back down to get on that angel block. Okay, now immediately go running back down the hill. You go down, 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 down to the right. Down, down, down. Oh, crap. Well, not that far down. Oh, dear. How do we get down? Let me think about this. I'm sorry, but I don't know.
No worry. Okay. So we
Wait. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. Don't. Go back.
Wait,
Go back.
maybe I can go.
Go. No, don't go here. Don't go here. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Try that. Actually, that might work. But what I want you to do, though. Okay, never mind. Yes, I'll be darned. Hey, good for you. Keep going down. Go stand on that angel thing.
Mhm.
Right there. Go stand on that little stop there. Stop. Hit the interface before the clock runs out. Okay, now go get your Tacklin's, Azram's part, I think. Try that. Go up. Whoa, okay. Now turn off to the right, or just hit your X button and you're not there. Go left a little bit. You're gonna bounce if you go here. Now just hit your X button, you'll jump off. Hey, there you go.
Okay.
Now there's a tablet there
Nice fire.
on the right. It's a kind of a cutscene on the right. So read that tablet. Just walk over.
Egyptian hieratic writing. It says, "The light of knowledge opens all doors." Oh, sure. And a dime will get you a cup of coffee.
Now you have a lighter. And you have some wood sitting on a pedestal. And if you actually approach that without your lighter, he'll talk about it, which is a way of giving you a clue. So
Look at that 3D fire.
Prismatic fire. What's it looking at?
Wait, did Anson Chu create this fire?
Now, eventually, you're going to do this 4 times. And one of the times you actually have to go find some wood. But each pyramid at the top creates a light beam. And when you go back outside, that light beam is visible and you can follow it out to a place where if you stand there, something will happen. Where the light beam meets the desert.
Okay, so are we done here?
You are for the moment, yeah. And if you want to, oh my gosh. Well, you're really done.
Are we done?
You got to jump down, but you got to be careful which way you're going to go. Yeah, you've got to use the part again. Azram's part, yeah. And now down you go. Yes, that's what you have to do. Okay, now you're good. Now you can turn that off. Yep.
Okay. Something happened. Did I go down? Over here?
You could. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You have to get on the ladder to the right. Well, I think you'll live if you drop. But I'm not sure.
I think you'll live. Famous last words.
You did. And now you got to get out of here, which is off to the, whoa, come on, go left, I think, oh my God. Now you are backtracking. You got to backtrack. And so that's the backtrack place. Oop. This is that same shimmy thing. Now, what are we doing? We're coming up at 1:30. Okay, we're still fine. But we could go outside. There's a shortcut to get outside. It's going to attract an awful lot of Russians when you do it. So the walkthroughs all say don't do it. But
what do you say?
Well, if you want to see what you just accomplished, we could go outside and take a look. You can always get back in the same place you go out. So now go up, and now go off to the right again, to the right. Yeah,
Big
down this
Kahuna
little.
tipped $5. Just thought I'd throw another $5 at you cause no one else is donating today, and I'm apparently made of money.
Thank you,
Okay, no, I'm trying to think. Hold on a second. Okay, turn back.
You know, if you want us to jump to one of your save games, just say the word.
No, I'm just not sure which one. Try going down that stairway here.
Okay.
Yeah. There are probably going to be spiders, and go down there, I think, as well. Wait a minute, wait.
Over
Don't
here?
go down. Go further to the right. Now
Okay.
go ahead, and then work around there. Okay, now if you get up here.
But there is no up here. I need to click the
Yeah,
button.
there is no. There's no. There's press that button. Press the button. Okay, now you can climb up out of here, and when you do, a ton of Russians are going to show up. So you get your weapons ready. Ooh, and you're in this little hole right here in the bottom.
Okay.
So
First of all,
once you get up,
I get just
yeah.
the weapon.
Yeah, but you can't grab it with a weapon. You have to put it away.
Oh, sorry.
And then be sure that once you get out of there, grab that weapon again, and then shoot somebody.
Damn 9099 AI.
You're better off with a rifle or a weapon that's.
I mean, look at us being impressed by ChatGPT when the AI in this game is magnificent. I can't hit anyone.
Hey, this is one of the reasons why you want to operate with very little difficulty, because there's a lot of these guys. Eventually, it calms down, and that might work. Nope. The bazooka doesn't really target, I think. So, oh man! But you almost killed yourself at the same time. That's great. Boy, is he dead. Here comes a guy. Whoa. You know, in modern games, in the shooters, it becomes precise and you can do headshots, and that's a hand grenade. So you're almost dead.
Okay, now let me get the trauma kit, and then let's see if the rocket hits this guy. Boom.
Oh, that might get him. I
Yeah.
think you got him. He was near enough of an obstacle, so it worked.
Yeah.
They might all be dead now. But what
All
you
right.
should do, you should run around. I think it's off to the left that you'll see a ray. If you get out there, it gradually comes into view. Go to the right a little bit, I believe, or maybe to the left.
To the right or to the left?
Pick one. Just don't go down that hole. I think, I'm not sure which one we were at, but take a look over here. Go to your left.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not here. Go, turn around. I'm sorry. Walk down to the right, where the plateau extends outward a bit. I believe that's where this is, but I'm not sure.
Over here?
Yeah. No, keep going. Keep going. It's always easier to do this in a Jeep because you get to see everything in a quick order.
So let's get the Jeep.
No, no. Well, okay, but I would back up first. Yeah.
Okay. So
Just
where do you
back
want to
up.
go? Should you go to the
Go
left?
to the right. Go to right a little bit. You're trying to get away from that pyramid and look back at it. Nope, this is not the one. See this? See these holes in the pyramids?
Mhm.
I know which one it is. Go down where the Russian truck is. Go, between the pyramids or around that corner there, and then down toward that little extra spot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now go straight forward. Pretty soon a purple beam is going to show up, I think. Yeah, turn left a little bit. Turn left a little bit.
There it is. The yellow
There it is,
beam.
the yellow beam. Yeah, now you want to find out where that beam is going.
Where's the beam? Okay, here it is.
There it is, right there. So now you got to move a block inside there. Yeah, jump in there. And you have to do a little bit of fooling around in order to be able to, you have to push a block and pull a block and stuff like that. So, yeah, get rid of, okay. What you can do is, you can't move that, there's no room. But if you go to your left, you can push that block away. Push, 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 push.
No, that's
Or
right.
pull. Or pull, doesn't matter. Okay, now turn to your right and pull the block in front of you. Wow,
Wow,
look at that.
$20. What kind of rocket launcher does a monkey prefer? A bazooka.
Bazooka. Thank you, Specs. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so what powered this mechanism, Hal?
It's the unknown magic of the ancient world. Those guys were high tech, I tell you.
I know.
So now we've really entered the world where there's a lot of fantasy going on. There are 4 of these things, and the thing that you got from that little kid is an eye. If you go back and look at that statue that just popped up out of the ground, go back and look at it.
Wait,
Just so you can see what's going on. Okay, now go around, and he's got a face if you look at it. But
Yeah.
in order to get that face, you have to actually pull this block out of the way. So get behind it. Or this way will work, yeah. Okay, now you can climb over that guy. And now go take a look at the face. Now, it's not going to work very much at the moment, but if you put the eye that you have, that the kid brought you, it will fit right in that face. And it fits on all 4 of them. So you have to...
definitely restores the patient's vision.
There you go. So now you can see the pattern of the level. Now you have to retrieve that thing. Did you retrieve it?
No, wait. I need to stand in front of it, right?
Oh, you need to get that thing back. Get the eye back.
Yeah, but the eye is the other way. I need to
Oh,
go.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. It moved. Yeah, go pick it up. Usually in adventure games, one of the conventions is you can pick things up, but you can't put them away. But we changed that. Okay, so now you can sort of see we've done the first of 4 patterns. There's a pattern. We've done the first of 4 examples. And so you go through the rest of the pyramids, gradually getting up to the top, lighting a fire, and getting a beam that goes down and shows you where you need to go. And a couple of them are kind of more complicated because one of them, you have to go in the pyramid, and there's around the corner of one of the pyramids, there's an empty pool. And you need to go and fill that pool with water so that the beam that comes down reflects off the pool and goes elsewhere. It doesn't show you the right thing unless you've done that, etc., etc. So this is, we have just, I guess you're maybe about halfway through the level now.
Wow, he really doesn't care about rockets.
Well, it's not fighting. Get over his head. Luke is useless. Right, now shoot it against it. You might get it. There, you got him. No, you didn't.
Look at us.
Oh my God, this is so ridiculous.
Okay,
you got
that's
him.
it. Yeah,
You got him because it bounced off the.
that's how you do it.
Yep.
So Chris89 says that Indy picks up the eye automatically in the Nintendo 64 version.
I think so. That's probably something we thought, hey, you better do that. I think also there was a thought, I hate to say it, it's not really me, but I think there was a thought. You can, by the way, every time you kill one of these guys, they leave a weapon behind, so you can tank up on hand grenades and you can tank up on rifles, and I'm not sure about bazooka parts, but probably. And there's a lot of those, you know, there's just, everybody drops something. There you go. There's some ammo for your machine gun and so on and so forth.
So you were saying?
Well, if you want, you can continue your trek by going back down in that hole and continue through 3 more pyramids. And in one case, there's you know, among the things you have to do is 3 of the pyramids have their little stack of firewood already in place, but one does not. So somewhere along the line, you're going to have to go in and do some jumping and getting up into a niche where there's a chunk of, you know, a bundle of firewood, and have that with you when you get to the last pyramid.
You want us to load one of your save games?
Yeah, you can just keep checking forward. I'm not sure which one, but if you go toward the end, what I do, I did about 17 of those things.
Yeah.
So if you get down toward the end, you'll be through some of these pyramids already. So here we are in the pyramid of another one. So I think this one's already, if you turn around, you'll see that this is already running. We've already done it here.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's green. So yeah, if you wanted to see this operate, you could try the next one and see what happens.
Wait, so how long did it take you to complete this level?
You mean me?
Yeah.
When I played through last week?
Yeah.
I don't know, 2 or 3 hours, I guess.
Wow.
Well, you know, once I got back into it, I could remember everything, and now we backed up. You don't want this. You want to go beyond this.
I don't think we backed up. I just think that you did it in.
Oh, I did it in a
different order. Yeah.
Yeah. Try a few of these. See what happens. Where are we? What might be fun eventually. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, you can run through there. You have to make a big jump. And you did.
I did a big jump just for you, Hal.
Oh, I love it. You're pretty good at this, but every now and then, yes. Now you shimmy off to the well. Okay.
You're pretty good at this. You're pretty good at this, but sometimes you suck. That's what you were about to say.
I wasn't going to quite use that vocabulary.
Okay.
Okay, this is complicated. All right, up we go. I think you can push this it's in the corner already, so you can just get up there. And there's a place to climb on the left and the right, I think. Yeah. And of course, those things always mean vermin. Yeah. Wow. I'm not sure what's going to happen when we get up here, but we'll see.
I hear something crawling.
Could be. Now take a look to your left. See that niche across a little bit diagonally from you?
Yeah.
There's a bundle. I believe that's where there's a bundle of firewood. It's pretty dull. It's pretty dark. But I'm not sure if you can make the jump from here, but maybe. Oh, I know what to do. You make the jump. Whoa! Okay, now go left.
Wait, I need to drop
Just
and then
go
grab.
left, go left, go left, go left. Okay, from there, drop, you'll grab. Yep, now go up and see if I'm right. I'm not sure if there's anything in there. What the heck is that? You know what?
I used
Okay,
up all my
stop.
skill to get nowhere.
No. Look in your inventory. This is a save game I did.
Yeah.
Okay, the inventory should probably already say go down a couple more. There's a wheel. Go down. The other way. Okay, whatever. Okay, whoa, you went right by it.
The wheel?
There's a bundle of wood. Go
Oh, the
down
one.
one. Okay, that firewood.
Nope.
That will allow you to do the fire in the final pyramid, and I got it from this niche, but it's part of the,
Oh,
we went
gotcha.
backwards. So we didn't have to do some of this stuff. Wow, look at that. So down you go. I'm not sure what to do here from here. Whoa. Wow, there was okay. There might be something in that little hole over to the right. I think there's a treasure in there. Look down. Look down. Just look down.
Right. What's the key for looking down?
I think the 0 key on your numpad will do it. And then
Gotcha.
the direction keys just, there you go. There's a treasure down there, but you don't have to get it if you don't want to. Or I might have picked it up already, actually.
Actually, it looks like there's nothing there. It looks like
Yeah,
medicinal herbs.
it would glitter, so don't worry about it. But that's one of those weird side things. Go to the right. You got to jump back over at some point here. Yeah. Ooh. I'm not sure. Don't go down there. I don't
Do
think
they
you
use
can
a
do
save
anything
game?
there. No, I know what it is. You can now shimmy to the right. And then climb up and turn around and jump back. I believe.
That's a very interesting camera angle.
Yeah, not too bad. We were able to arrange some cutscenes we would create basically an invisible track, which we could track the camera on, using some commands that we had built into the C language. We looked, our scripters looked at those commands as actual commands, but really what we were doing were calling functions. I'm
back here.
Yeah.
Should I load another save game?
Yeah, I would go somewhere else and see what happens. I'm not sure.
So
What's next?
we were in 15. Let's go to 16.
Yeah, see where you are. Aha. This is another place you can go outside. Let's try it. You'll go see another one of those statues, I believe. Well, hello.
Big Kahuna tipped $5. I honestly can't remember if I've donated already. I decided to drink a shot every time you used the bazooka, and now I may be a bit impaired.
Here, have a few more shots.
Hey.
Thank you, Big Kahuna.
All right, so what you really need is the Jeep. You can rub around and see if there's another visible ray, which I'm pretty sure there will be. And I think if you'll notice over here, do you remember earlier we got a bucket?
Mm-hmm.
You go inside the pyramid right here. You would have put that bucket on a machine that would fill the canal and then fill this basic. Wait! Stop! It would fill that with water, and you can see that the light ray that came down bounces up. Go to the end of the light ray on the left. Yep. That's pretty cool. I gotta say, I think this is pretty cool. Okay, now use the eye on that guy's face. Jump down. Yeah.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Yeah, you gotta get over closer. Okay, there you go.
In a pioneering operation, Dr. Jones deftly restores the patient's vision.
In this order of save games, it's coming out differently. That was the first one that I saved. And so that's why only one of the golden hands has come off. So I think in this version of the save game, if you ran back down where we saw the yellow beam, you're probably still there. You probably have to do it all over again.
So you don't have a save games. You don't have a save game with all of the beams.
I do, somewhere. I'm not sure. No, I probably not with all of them undone, but maybe. You can try the next save game. I always take the Jeep wherever you go. It's just the best way to travel.
So do you want us to take the Jeep or load another save game?
Oh, try another one. What do we got? Try. Where are we? 17?
Yeah.
This might be the end. Yeah, see, that's open now. Okay, this is good. This is how we can end the whole business. It's about 10 off. I'd turn your lighter on if I were you.
I hate snakes. Okay.
Take a look at that mine car.
You know, this mine car is still in pretty good shape. All it needs are a wheel and some fuel.
Now you know what to do. But you have to get in the right position, or he'll say whoops.
This thing might still run if it had a wheel and some gas.
Well, you've got everything you need, so just go around the corner there. Keep going around it. Yeah, there we go. Try there. Try using the wheel.
What made him think that it's in pretty good shape? It looks in pretty bad shape to me.
Well, it's getting in better shape. Now try some fuel. Well, we don't have it in this great game. Okay, now here's what you do. No. In this save game, it's different. Go back outside. So turn around and go back out. Find your Jeep, which is, I hope, not too far away. Get the gas can.
Aha. Some gasoline.
There you go.
Now this is a great save game. We're near the exit, and we have.
Okay, now go fuel that guy up. All right, now step around to the side. Hit the control key. And that's the end of the level.
Wow.
Next up is King Solomon's Mines, where you get to drive that mine car all over the place on a huge model railroad. Anyway, so that's it. I think that sounds to me like it's about 5 off, and
Yeah.
we did pretty good.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of tips. I'm so glad.
It's been a while since I played this level, and in addition to getting tips from you on how to complete the level, you being my walkthrough guide, you also shared a few very interesting insights about this level and about the game, especially the Jeep level. You know,
Yeah.
After you talked about the fact that every level took so long, it's interesting to hear that, you know, after you saw the capabilities of a certain mechanic, in this case, the Jeep mechanic, you thought that a Jeep-oriented level would be in order.
Yeah, it turned out that we backtracked into the Philippines area and put that on as an addendum after you've actually kind of done the boss already. And everybody was having a lot of fun and we saw that trailer, and you could see Andy running around an unfinished version of the game. Well, everybody was having a lot of fun running around in that open desert area around the pyramids in the Jeep. And it was so much fun for everybody that they said, hey, listen, we got to do something with this. And we had a pretty good looking Jeep model, and the wheels were able, Steve Scholl made the wheels spin, which was wonderful. And so we thought, okay. And the one guy who, you know, it wasn't always the most creative guy, but he was absolutely terrific level builder, Don Silkey. And he just threw, I did the bubble diagrams while I'm watching everybody do all the other levels they were working on. And I'm going around talking to them all the time and, you know, pointing out where they have made some mistakes and where their stuff was really, really terrific. And so I did these bubble diagrams. There's about 12 bubbles, and they interconnect in a pattern. And you can just drive the Jeep down these little roads between all these little bubbles where you can, and each one is nicely identified by something. So in one bubble, when you get there, where you have to find something, there's a crashed Japanese zero, and that tells you where you are in this otherwise hard to figure out area with all these areas that look very, very similar. But each one has got a couple of features which differentiate them. So you gradually learn where you are. You're being tailed by a bunch of Russians in a truck trying to kill you, and they sometimes do. And you have to sort of be out of their way. And so you're running around this whole place and collecting things that will gradually get you out of the level. And you get in terrible trouble, but it opens up a hill you can go up on your Jeep. And when you get up there, the helicopter flies over with a ladder trailing down, and you grab the ladder in a cutscene, climb up, and Sophia drives you away. It's wonderful. And in contrast to everything else we did, we accomplished this in like no time. It was amazing. Now, it was a lot of fun to have an experience where instead of the hard work going on forever, we kind of wrapped it up in a quick sequence. So we had to cut we finally did, Jeff Jones did the Peru level, which is a bonus level at the end of the game. If you wind up with enough money, you can buy a map, and that opens up that level for you. And so we did keep working on that one. That was Jeff's main level. It was going to be multiplayer. We failed to get that to happen. But we cut a couple other levels. We've already discussed in another part how we had to cut Chris's Waterworks level. And we just incorporated the parts that were done and worked so beautifully into the whitewater rafting level. And then we also...
Top Fuel tipped 20 pieces of 8. Great stream, guys. Looking forward to the next one.
Thank you. Top Fuel.
And anyway, the other level we cut, a good guy named Paul Zabirek was struggling to get a level done, and we just could not figure out. I couldn't help him. I couldn't figure out what we should do, and so that was another level that got cut. And we wound up with still, I think, a pretty full game, and there's an awful lot of gameplay in there, and there's a lot of fun to see Indy have, I think, a very real Jonesy adventure.
Yeah, I mean, for us, we still consider, even after Crystal Skull and even after Dial of Destiny, I consider Fate of Atlantis the fourth indie movie, and Infernal Machine as the fifth one. And the rest of the indie games and indie movies don't exist.
No, although I thought that, in modern movie making, and now that the Marvel Universe has, taken over and comic books rule movies, Dial of Destiny was basically just one action thing after another. But I thought it was better than Crystal Skull.
Better than Crystal Skull doesn't mean anything,
Oh, that's true. It's true. But anyway, by the way, Crystal Skull is the reserved stuff from the Indie Bible that George wouldn't let me use for this game. When I proposed doing a 3D action adventure game for Indie to the company, I said I want to do it, after the war, and I want it to be about UFOs. I knew that George kind of had that idea, and that he would be open to it. But he actually reserved it for a future movie, and it did turn out to be Crystal Skull. And the truth is, the original idea was better than how they bollocksed it all up.
You could have prevented Crystal Skull by convincing him that your idea is better.
If they just have let me done that, we wouldn't have had to endure Crystal Skull. Wouldn't that have been great?
Yep. But Instead, we got this amazing game, and we got Fate of Atlantis. So, we can't complain. Maybe the movies didn't turn out that great, but the games did. And that's all that matters, because for us as gamers, spending 40 hours of gameplay with indie and a point-and-click adventure game with Fate of Atlantis, and 40 hours of gameplay with indie in this game is better than having a 2-hour movie.
I guess. I did one other Jones game. I was busy trying to do a couple of big-time adventure games that didn't quite get done. And I had 2 different ones that I was working on, and they both got canceled. It happened that toward the late 90s, that adventure games weren't selling very well. We started to realize that we were in trouble. And there's certain costs and burn rates that you're doing, and how much money can you make back. And so we were burning up all our adventure game money on either Full Throttle or Grim Fandango. I can't remember which, that Tim was working on. And so there wasn't any room for me to do what I was going to do, which was the new Emperor, which was a kind of a recovery of the Empire after the ends of the original Star Wars movies. And it was a perfect adventure game hero, because it was a thing where you couldn't send a Jedi Knight because he would be discovered by the evil ones, but you could send 3PO, who would be just an absolutely perfect hero for an adventure game. But we couldn't get it done. So I was also diddling around. I realized that in a game like this, you're going to spend 30 or 40 hours playing through it. And that's a big commitment to stay with one kind of game. Now, I think that this game had enough visual variety and the variety of circumstances and locations to make it endlessly attractive, but still, that's a long game. And I have a taste for jumping into a game and getting it done and get the heck out of there. So I wanted to do these short games, but I realized that we still have to incorporate the playtime. And in order to do that, it would have to be replayable. So I invented a system which allowed you to do replaying games. And the first one was called Indiana Jones and His Desktop Adventures. And this is a casual game before there was any such concept of such things. And I got the company to agree to do it. It started out, though, I did a prototype. on an Apple II. No, I'm sorry, an Apple Macintosh, one of the early ones. And it was, they had this weird kind of a card slide deck system. And it had a language. It was actually a pretty good language. It was a lot like Python. And very verbose, and you didn't have to do any comments because you could just read the code. It looked great. And I did this prototype. It was called Tools of the Tinker's Trade. And when they finally agreed to let me make the game with using about 3 other people, they said, well, you can do it, but it has to be Indiana Jones. So it became Indiana Jones and His Desktop Adventures. And there are 15 little scenarios that you can play through. And each time, it's as if the chessboard got rearranged. So you see the similar things each time you go through that scenario, but still, even so, it's a different way through the scenario. And we did that. And so that was another Jones game that I did, and it allowed us to have a quick experience, although it's funny little super deformed characters on tiles. And then I did another version of that, which is a lot more sophisticated, called Yoda Stories. And both of those games are now available on my website, but I didn't realize until very recently that the very difficult to play Jones version, which is not quite so good, but you can, I guess you can drop it into Dream, and Dream will work.
Yeah.
And I've got to try that. I haven't done it yet. But Yoda Stories, you can go up to my website and it'll play on Windows 11. It's fine.
So in our conversation, we talked about Indiana Jones and His Desktop Adventures, and I asked about how do you, as a writer, as a storyteller, how were you able to make a coherent story out of randomized scenarios, so that regardless of what order of scenarios you'd have, you'd still have a coherent story?
No, it's, think about puzzle chains. We also had a world builder. We had a very sophisticated program that would put together these tiles in coherent sequences. And you had a little map system so you could see where you were and running around. And actually, each scenario is independent. And all puzzle chains must start with a discovery, with a find. So what happens is the very first thing you do is, who is Jones's sidekick? He's in the game, and he starts each scenario. You go into a building, and he says, "Hey, I've got this thing here. This is what you got to go do. Find this treasure, and here's something to get you started." And that's how it works. So each scenario, it's not much of a story. It's just each scenario is a different treasure you're looking for, and you wind up having kind of different adventures. Sometimes you're up against a lot of Mexican thieves, and sometimes you're just running around and there are a lot of snakes, that kind of stuff. And, jungle-y territory and that sort of thing, all taking place in central Mexico when Indy was a younger guy.
So
what we discovered, however, was, people, the reviewers hated my game. It represented exactly the opposite that they were all looking for. The media wanted to see 3D advance. That was the mantra. They wanted to see that get going forward, and I was going exactly in the opposite direction with tiles, which is how we could assemble all these different worlds, because we'd have 600 or 700 tiles, and you could put them together in all these different ways. But the idea that took over, which is casual gaming, just didn't exist. So, all these reviewers just reviled my stuff. And of course, I reviled them for reviling it.
Well, the game was ahead of its time, no?
It was a little bit. And Yoda Stories, we did discover something, though, which is the puzzle chain in the Jones game is singular. Every time you succeed in doing a little puzzle to get the next item on this long chain that gets you to the boss. Whenever you do that, there's only one thing that will work for the next thing. And so pretty soon you realize there's a pattern here, and you can kind of anticipate everything happening. So we thought we better make that a little bit better in Yoda. And we thought how to do it. And eventually we realized it was very simple. You just have two puzzle chains. They're shorter. And when you get to the final level, you have to have both puzzle chains completed in order to open the last door, in effect. And so then when you found something, you don't really quite know what's going to happen. So the result is it's a little bit more suspenseful, and you have to be a little bit more into the game in order to figure it all out. And it was a big improvement. And although I love the game we just looked at, every now and then I sit down and I play another chapter of Yoda Stories. My one Star Wars game, really.
Well, you should try playing it on Dream. It works pretty well. And yeah. Indiana Jones and his desktop adventure as well.
I'm going to give it a look. But Yoda Stories, you don't need. Yoda Stories came on a CD with a lot of other stuff, kind of as when they re-released Star Wars, and so you don't even have to install it. It was one of those games which you just drop it on your desk and the thing will run. Now, when I think about security and on Windows or any other computer system, the idea that you could just run code from anywhere on on your disk, it's like, woo, that is very dangerous. But Windows has never figured it out. Maybe someday. Anyway, thank you very much for doing this. I enjoyed it very much. I enjoy going through this stuff with you. It's great to watch you fall down wells and get killed.
And use the bazooka. Don't forget the bazooka.
Well, I know, and especially those spectacular deaths where you drove the Jeep right off the cliff. That was great.
Thank you. So first of all, thank you again for joining me for another live stream, and hopefully you'll be able to join me again in the future, whether it's an Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine live stream, or maybe we can play Indiana Jones and his desktop adventures, or Yoda Stories. And with and we know with Yoda Stories we can even play it over Zoom, so you can play it over Zoom on my computer, and then we'll be able to see how you handle these games, because with Indiana Jones
that sounds daunting, but oh well. Anyway, it was great fun, and it's fun to be with you and everybody else who took a look at this and who will take a look at it when it shows up. And I will, in addition to seeing it up there, I will also link it so that if people who come to my website can actually quickly get there. And I've also already done the link with our conversation from a year ago. It's one of those things that's it's long and extended, and it's one of the best ways I've been able to explain what I did for a whole bunch of years. Anyway,
and we've been
thanks very
eager to
much.
listen. So thank you again, Hal, and thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Yep. Bye.